Now, with nativism during this period of time, was also known as what? No. Okay. It was also known as the Red Scare. All right. Because what were people afraid of?
A communist.
All right. Good. People in the United States were afraid of a communist takeover. What convinces them? What convinces them that there's a communist takeover, John? All right, one was Boston police strike, but the Boston police strike symbolized this period. It was generally what overall? All right, good. It was strikes overall. All right, that there are more strikes during this time. Now, why are they convinced that the strikes are a symbol of a communist takeover? Right. All right, that the Russian Revolution started with the strikes by the workers. Right. The Boston police strike, which puts the, supposedly puts the public safety at risk and stuff, symbolized this period. Who would become nationally known for his stand against the strike? Who? Okay, Calvin Coolidge. All right. Another cause of them thinking, okay, it's coming, is what?
Bombings.
All right, good. The bombings that are taking place too. What do we got? Now, in the Sacco Vanzetti case, supposedly Sacco and Vanzetti are what? All right, good. Supposedly they are supposed anarchists. But the real crime that they're being accused of is what? No. John? All right, for being Italians. All right? Yeah, they're arrested for robbery and murder. Now, the bad part is what happens to justice in the Sacco Vanzetti case? What happens to justice? John? On what though? All right, good. They're found guilty and sentenced to death on very little evidence. All right. Attorney General of the United States Palmer, he orders what? Palmer orders what? John? All right, good. Raids of radical groups. All right. And what do they do with these so-called radical groups? All right, that they went and deported them. Who rises? Who becomes more powerful during the Red Scare? Corbin? Okay, good. The Ku Klux Klan would use the Red Scare to gain more members. Because they're convinced the immigrants are doing this, the U.S. goes in and does what? Mason?
Limits immigration.
All right, good. The U.S. comes in and limits immigration. All right. So the U.S. is heading where? All right, good. The U.S. is heading into isolationism. All right. What do they got? Let's see. Why? Let's see. Why are people's values changing? Why are people's values changing? No? Why are people's values changing? Okay, good. Because they're moving into cities where they're finding crime, gambling, and corruption. All right. What else are they finding? What else are the values changing? Yeah, the cities and stuff, they're finding all this stuff going on in cities where they didn't find it in the rural areas, but also what else, correct?
Freedom and spirit.
All right, good. A new spirit, freedom of sweeping through young people. Particularly who? All right, and how is it changing the young women?
They wear their skirts to their knees, makeup.
And, all right, that young women change their style of dress, they're bob their hair, they're drinking, they're wearing makeup. And these girls were called what? All right, that these girls were called flappers. Now, the response to the young kids now, quote unquote, acting up, and that values, they're saying, disappearing, what starts in the rural areas? What starts in the rural areas? Madison? All right, fundamentalism. Basically, fundamentalism means what? Garrett? No, fundamentalism means what? Jay? Okay, that they took the Bible literally. Who were two leaders? There were several, but who were two? Corbin? Okay, William Jennings Browning and Billy Sunday. Okay. And the big test of fundamentalism versus what's going on now is going to be the what? All right, the Scope Monkey trial. Everybody got it? Right, now, the Scopes Monkey trial is over what? What are people upset about? John? All right, people are upset about Darwin's theory of evolution. Now, in response to this, to make sure that this isn't taught, Tennessee goes in and does what? Garrett? All right, Tennessee passes a law against teaching evolution. All right, who goes in and tests it? John? Okay, John Scopes, biology teacher, tests the law. Now, Scopes is going to be represented by who? Corbin? Okay, he's going to be represented by Clarence Darrow. Who's going to be the prosecutor? Who's going to be the prosecutor? Rob? All right, William Jennings Bryan is going to prosecute it. Now, while the test is, whether he broke the law by teaching evolution stuff, the trial ends up being about what? John? No, modern. All right, good. It's a trial of modern versus traditional. All right? The whole outcome of the trial, the basic outcome of the trial is what happens. In reality, did Scopes break the law?
No.
Did Scopes break the law? Corbin? Yes, he did. Remember, Scopes was found guilty. But what was really on trial? Or what was the real income? All right, and what happens to fundamentalism? All right, Brian was made to look like a fool because he contradicted the fundamentalist view. All right. And so this comes in, and this is where you start kicking in, all the hayseed jokes and the, rural people being, slow and half-witted and things like this. They thought, okay, if you're modern, you're a city slicker and stuff. All right, what was supposed to solve all of society's problems? Madison? Okay, prohibition. All right, and prohibition was started because of what? Corbin? No, prohibition. All right, that the 18th Amendment was passed prohibiting alcohol. All right. They got it? All right. Why get rid of alcohol? Why get rid of alcohol? Ethan? All right, they saw it as the main source of corruption. What else did they see as the source of corruption? All right, led to crime, child abuse, wife beating, and divorce. So if we get rid of alcohol and stuff, all this stuff is going to disappear. And yet, prohibition does what? Prohibition does what, Brad?
Split the country.
All right, good. It splits the country. So, who's for prohibition, city or rural? All right, for prohibition.
Oh,
Rural is, remember? Because, and remember, the easiest way to remember that is what is strong in the rural areas during this time? What other movement is strong in the rural areas during this time? No. Fundamentalism, right? Fundamentalism, was against taking the Bible literally and stuff, but it was against alcohol. So with the fundamentalist movement in the rural areas, they're going to be for prohibition. All right, what's a wet? All right, somebody who drinks. All right. Now, between immigrants and natives, who's going to be for prohibition? All right, natives, because remember, alcohol was part of what?
Their culture.
Their culture, okay? That alcohol was part of the immigrants' cultures. All right? And so, yeah, it does limit stuff, but what now all of a sudden becomes big business? Yeah, but
Bootlegging.
bootlegging, okay? Bootlegging becomes big business. Remember, bootlegging basically stands for what?
Stealing.
No, not stealing.
Smuggling.
Or it's the smuggling of alcohol, okay? Because remember, what did I say the boot was? The trunk of the vehicle, all right? That's why it's called bootleg. All right? Where did they sell this at? Speakeasies. Okay? And what happens to crime? Because what now all of a sudden becomes big business? Yeah, but what, now who control, I mean, who is fighting over controlling bootlegging? No. Who's fighting over controlling bootlegging? No. Al Capone. Al Capone was who? Mob before, or other name for, yeah, mob boss, or another one was, it was called what? Organized crime, right? Mob boss, organized crime. So in reality, prohibition does what? All right, good. The prohibition is hard to enforce. It caused more problems than it solved. So to get rid of prohibition. 21st. Make sure you keep these separate. Okay, but the 18th will be later repealed by the 21st. All right, everybody got it? Now, popular culture, right? Why is the 20s called the golden age of sports? Why is the 20s called the golden age of sports? No? No. Okay, one, yeah, you could come in and say, yeah, they had radios. But why is it also called, correct? All right, athletes were seen as bigger than life heroes. All right, and if you go with what Dylan's saying is, yeah, more people are going to be exposed to it because of radio, but also because of what else? Because also with movies. Because remember, when we came in with the movies, remember they also got a little short newsreel in there? And so, yeah, they're going to come in and show these teams and stuff, these little newsreels. All right? So, probably should know some people from this era. Okay? Yeah, I should know some teams. Remember, who was the football team? Notre Dame. Who was the college football star? Red Grange. Who was the Sultan of SWAT? Babe Ruth. You should know about three.
know what team and sport you're
That team and what sport they're in. But you think about it too, with this, these are these have been so ingrained, right? Really shouldn't be that hard. Now, with movies, Movies in those days, though, were what? Okay, good. They were silent pictures. All right. How were movies in those days different than movies of today?
You had to read the one.
All right, you had to read the words. Okay, most were westerns and serials. Remember, today when you go to the movies, you just see one movie, right? In those days, you saw, remember, a little newsreel. You saw a serial. You know, it could be like a little western serial or something today, like, you know, what you call a television serial. You would then see a cartoon. You know, this is like where Bugs Bunny and stuff was. And then you saw the movie. Also, keep in mind something else too. These movies, and I didn't really point this out and stuff, but these movies are in what? They're not.
Black and white.
They're in black and white. All right, but these movies are in black and white. Eventually, what's going to get rid of the movies or get rid of silent pictures? The talkies. Okay, then the talkies. The talkies are still going to be in black and white. What was the first color movie? Wizard of Oz was the first one color. All right. Now with radio, how is radio different than today? John? Yeah, they were like what we would call TV shows. In other words, you had live programs, games, speeches, music, plays, or programs. Remember that day when you guys were listening to Gunsmoke? Right? As opposed to, on TV, you could go watch Gunsmoke. There, you just sat around the radio listening to, like, Gunsmoke and others, and you never sang them. I think I got that on there. Maybe I have to bring that up sometime. Everybody got it? All right. Now, the Jazz Age, the best way to describe the Jazz Age is it's what? Who really takes to the Jazz Age?
Young people.
Okay, the young people. Because it represents the newfound freedom of spirit that's sweeping through the young people. Jazz Age was started by who? All right, blacks. And what's the father of jazz? The blues. All right. And because this a lot of the musicians and stuff from the Jazz Age are blacks, this gave rise to what? Okay, good. The Harlem Renaissance. In other words, a new rise in black arts. A rise in black arts. Why does Harding get elected? Why does Harding get elected? No? Okay, good. People wanted to forget their problems. All right. There's another argument too, and we didn't touch on this. In the presidential election of 1920, okay, Harding, you know, everybody said, yeah, he's a good-looking guy and stuff. Who could vote in the first time ever vote in the 1920 election? And they said this is another reason Harding won. No, blacks could vote ever since, quote unquote, so women, remember, the 19th Amendment had also passed, giving the women the right to vote. And some historians say, well, this is another reason Harding won. All right? Harding basically promises the people a what? Okay, he promises the people a return to normalcy, or the good old days. All right? Harding said, how should the government be run? All right, he said the government should be run laissez-faire. In other words, the government should protect what? Or favor what? All right, the government should favor big business. But where does Harding start getting in trouble? All right, scandals caused by who? The Ohio gang, which was basically a bunch of his friends. As I said, he didn't really want to be president. It was Tommy who did it. All right. Everybody got it? So, the biggest scandal under Harding's administration, Teapot Dome scandal. Fortunately, does Harding get blamed? Why? He died, okay? So Harding died before the scandals really became public. All right? And so with Harding's death, who then becomes president? Okay? Calvin does. Coolidge. All right? And Coolidge goes along with it. He says, what's the business of America? All right, good. He said, business of America is business. In other words, our country will be going great as long as businesses go great. All right? And so with this philosophy, the U.S. becomes what during this time? Okay, prosperous. All right? And people start doing what? Okay, because they become very what? Okay, they begin to buy more material on credit. They become a very materialistic society. You know, I've got to have this, I've got to have that, I've got to have this best thing, I've got to have all this. Okay, fine, I can't pay for it, but I can make payments. And so they start buying all this stuff on credit. The one thing that would have the biggest impact on America is what? All right, the automobile. Okay, this is going to have the biggest impact on it. All right, how does the automobile have a huge impact on the United States?
Widespread introduction.
No, how does it happen? Okay, because that causes us to become more mobile, increase in gas production and tourism. Everybody got it? All right. Who is seen as placing the automobile in everybody's hands? All right, Henry Ford. Okay, because he does what? How can he place it in everybody's hands and make a cheap car? Nathan? Okay, but what's different about his assembly line? No. What is different, John? Yeah, moving assembly line. Okay, making the car expensive. Because remember, rather than the workers going to the vehicle comes to the workers. It just comes down a line. All right. Right now, with isolationism, the United States wanted to be what in the world? Okay, we want to be a commanding economic power. But what don't we want to do?
Binding promises.
Okay, we don't want to make binding promises. All right? Why? Why don't we want to make promises anymore?
About the trade.
Austin?
The last time it didn't go so well.
Didn't go so well. We felt betrayed. Okay? What did the Washington Conference do? What did the Washington Conference do? John? All right, fixed a ratio on all warships. What outlawed war? What outlawed war? Okay, Kellogg-Briand Act outlawed war. Okay? They got it?